Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart. Today I'm joined by Ralph Michaels, one of my favorite college football handicappers. Ralph, I know usually we give the specials here at the end of the segment, but I'm going to let you start with your college football specials.
You know what? We talk college football. A lot of you know me for college basketball and the NFL. What if I told you can get the NFL for $333? College football for $333, college hoops for $333. All three sports from now, beginning of August, through March Madness, $999. Just go to wagertalk.com, go to my profile page, Cal Sports. All three sports, 3 complete seasons, $999.
I love it, and I'm so excited for college football season. It cannot get here soon enough. So we're going to talk about, more specifically, September college football handicapping. So mistakes that people make early on in the season, like, for example, weeks 1 through 4.
You know, one thing in general is just returning starters. Don't overreact or underreact to returning starters. You have teams that have a lot of returning starters back, but, you know, an example is Syracuse last year. Syracuse returned 19 starters last year in the season. Well, when you have 19 bad starters back, that doesn't necessarily dictate yes, you're going to be improved, but you're not going to be that much better. Look for teams, you know, TCU is a team that returned 8 starters 3 years ago, 17 starters last year. You saw them go from 6 to 7 to 11 wins. So some teams like Michigan State this year is a team to keep an eye on. 19 returning starters this year, only 8 last year. Look for the gap from one year to the next. The next thing, even more important to me than returning starters, there are 10 teams that return every offensive line start they had for me. Those teams are play-on teams for me, especially early. Cal, Florida, K-State, you'll be happy to know. Maryland, UMass, Northern Illinois, Texas Tech, Utah State, Wake Forest, and Wisconsin. All those teams return every offensive line start for last year. When you're starting those season with those 5 men up front, it's a great way to play September ball.
God, one of the other things that I love so much about August and September college football handicapping is upsets. And then also teams that maybe have less value in the eyes of the bettors going into the conference play.
You know, there's a lot of overreactions week 1 through 4. The season's starting. People think, well, this team was good last year. They're going to be good. They think this team loses a conference game and, oh, my God, they're going to bounce back. But this is only weeks 1 through 4. And conference home dogs, weeks 1 through 4, are only 20 and 32. That's 39%. So while you think you have that home edge, it's not the same home edge. Your teams aren't established. And again, so conference home dogs early in the year are not a positive. Other things to look for weeks 1 through 4 that people overreact. If you lose as a home favorite and you're back at home, this is only week 1. If you lose as a home favorite week 1 and you're home again the next week, it's only been a 39% play against the spread. People have that overreaction. There's no way they're going to lose 2 games at home. The line gets inflated, and that happens. How about if you win straight up as a dog week 1? Well, that's actually a positive. If you win week 1 as a dog on the road in college football and you're home week 2, the last 5 years, you're 67%. So play against those teams that lost as a home favorite. Play on those teams that pulled the upset as an away dog.
I love it. How about some of these high and low scoring games?
Well, again, these are teams that you get a lot of overreactions. There's less scoring the first couple weeks. So what happens if a team scores 9 points or less, weeks 1 through 4? Well, if that happens and they return home, they're only 30 and 49, 38%. If you have a bad offense 1 week, just because you return home the next week doesn't mean those problems are fixed. On the flip side, if you score 50 or more points, weeks 1 through 4 only, if you're on the road, it's a 57% play on. Those numbers tend to work, and you continue to play well. But if you scored 50 or more points and you're home the next week, you're 50 and 73, only 41%. So simple. Score 50 points, you're on the road, play on that team, or fade them. If you score 50 or more and you're at home, it's something you want to fade and play against them.
Man, I hope the guys at home are taking notes. Any other situations that you'd like to bring up?
You know, quickly, turnovers, weeks 1 through 4. These are turnover differentials. If you're minus or 3+ turnovers in a game, you're probably going to have won or lost that game. A -3 turnover differential means simply you were +3 or -3 after the game's played. So if you had 1 turnover and your defense was +4 turnovers, you're +3. Well, when you're +3 turnovers, it's very misleading. The game's going to be out of range. You're going to have won that game usually pretty handily. If you're +3 turnovers, weeks 1 through 4, the next game you're at home, 29 and 54, 35%. One example from last year, Arizona week 1 played Northern Arizona. They were +3 turnovers. They won the game 62-24. Well, the final yardage in that game, 592 to 562. Basically a pick'em game if you look at the yards. One of the previous videos talked about the box scores. Teddy Cover said, look at the box score, don't look at the final score. Well, Arizona played Northern Arizona basically even as a 24-point favorite. Next week, the line was moved against Houston. They lose that game outright at home. Again, -3 turnovers, the same thing. If you're -3 turnovers, the odds are on the scoreboard you're going to get blown out. Well, the next game, you are 49 and 65, 43%. So both situations playing against them.
I feel like people can see like the dollar signs going off in my brain
Again, there's a
right
lot
now.
of numbers, but if you're just jotting these notes down and taking a look at them, they're just great situations early in the year for you to benefit.
All right, Ralph, leave us with your favorite college football betting angle for the season.
Well, you know, one thing to look at, teams off a 35-point win, and the next week they're a 17-point dog. So obviously they played someone weak or they crushed an opponent. This week they're playing a superior foe. Well, since 2004, those teams are 89 and 49, 64%. Since 2014, they're 22 and 6, 79%. Play on a team that won by 35 or more points one week, and the next week, they're an underdog of 17 or more.
I love it. Good stuff from Ralph Michaels. As Ralph mentioned, he has 2 deals up right now. Football season's right around the corner, so make sure you guys get Ralph's $999 college football, NFL, and college football package. Also, if you guys like these videos, don't forget to give them a thumbs up, share with your friends, and check out our other videos on YouTube.